The furnace temperature was running 284.7 degrees when my phone buzzed. Text from Glenn Rodriguez, my plant director. Roy, we're promoting Sierra Walsh to operations manager instead of you. She brings fresh digital perspective. Announcement at 3 p.m. No explanation, no meeting. Just a text message after 24 years of keeping this steel mill running. I'm Roy Patterson, 49 years old, and I've been working steel since I got out of the Navy at 25. Started on the floor, learned everything from watching molten metal flow and listening to what the equipment was telling me. I set the phone down on my clipboard and walked out to the blast furnace floor. The hum of the cooling systems felt different now, like pressure building beyond safe parameters. Glenn was standing near the quality control station, coffee in hand, talking to Sierra like she just solved our heat treating problems. She had her MBA degree and a smile that looked good in boardroom presentations. What she didn't have was any idea how blast furnace operations actually work. I'd been training her for 6 months, showing her the temperature protocols my father developed when he ran this same furnace 30 years ago, the alloy mixing ratios that cut our scrap rate by 12%, the safety procedures that kept molten steel accidents at 0 for 8 years running. She took notes, asked smart questions, and apparently decided my job looked better than hers. When I reached them, Glenn handed me an envelope. "Thanks for mentoring Sierra," he said. "She's really absorbed your systematic approach to operations. My systematic approach, that's what we were calling it now." I opened the envelope while they watched. Inside was a performance review and a lateral transfer to senior technical advisor. Same pay, less authority, and a desk in the corner, instead of my office overlooking the furnace floor. They wanted me to document my procedures and then step aside quietly. I folded the papers and put them in my shirt pocket. "When does this take effect?" Monday, Glenn said. "Sierra's got some exciting optimization projects lined up. Optimization projects using the heat treating schedules I'd spent years perfecting, the maintenance protocols that kept our downtime under 2%, the supplier relationships I'd built through handshakes and keeping my word. All of it would get rebranded as innovative data-driven solutions." My wife Helen had been expecting this promotion. We talked about it over dinner for months. The extra money would help finish paying off Danny's college tuition and finally get that new roof we needed. Now I'd have to explain why 24 years of dedication wasn't enough. But here's what they didn't know. For the past 6 months, I'd been having conversations with Wade Morrison, who runs a family steel fabrication shop about 35 miles east called Morrison Steelworks. Started as vendor meetings, turned into something more. Wade appreciated old-school reliability over PowerPoint presentations. That afternoon, I cleaned out my office. 24 years of documentation, supplier contacts, process improvements, and troubleshooting guides went into boxes. Not because I was bitter, because it was mine, developed through my own experience with my own hands, never formally entered into company databases. The heat treating schedules I'd created, personal notes based on years of watching steel fail and succeed. The supplier relationships that got us priority service and bulk pricing, built through keeping my word and solving their problems. The safety protocols that prevented the kind of accidents that kill people in steel mills, learned through watching what happens when you cut corners. I left copies of the official procedures, but the real knowledge, the experience that made those procedures work, that walked out with me. Monday morning, Sierra moved into my office. New nameplate, fresh flowers, a whiteboard covered in MBA buzzwords like operational excellence and data-driven optimization metrics. She called an all-hands meeting to introduce her vision. "We're going to revolutionize our approach," she announced. Roy built a solid foundation, but it's time to move beyond traditional methods and embrace digital transformation. The floor supervisors looked at each other. Reed Johnson, who'd worked with me for 14 years, just shook his head. These guys knew the difference between theory and reality. By Wednesday, the first problem started. Furnace 2 went down for what should have been routine maintenance. But the documentation Sierra was following didn't include the specific cooling rates for our particular setup. Standard procedures said 200 degrees per hour. Experience said 180 for our equipment because of the refractory brick configuration. They cooled at 200. Thermal shock cracked the furnace lining. 1 12-hour shutdown while they waited for replacement materials. Thursday brought another issue. Our primary steel supplier, Brooks Industrial, needed to discuss delivery schedules. Sierra scheduled a formal meeting with contracts and presentations. What she didn't know was that Brooks had been flexible with us for years because of personal relationships. Clint Brooks and I went back to our Navy days. We'd worked through supply shortages, payment delays, and quality issues with handshake agreements. Clint called me directly. "Roy, what's going on over there?" "This new person wants to renegotiate everything, says she's optimizing vendor relationships." I told him I wasn't involved anymore. He said Brooks would honor existing contracts but wouldn't be extending any special accommodations going forward. No more priority deliveries during supply crunches. No more bulk discount pricing. Everything by the book. By the second week, the pressure gauges were showing stress. Production efficiency dropped 18%. Maintenance costs jumped because they were using generic procedures instead of equipment-specific protocols. 2 suppliers stopped offering preferred pricing. Reed started texting me updates, not because I asked, but because he was watching 24 years of systems work fall apart in real time. "She's got consultants coming in," he wrote, "going to analyze our processes and recommend improvements." The same processes I'd built through years of trial and error, watching steel fail and learning why. Now they'd pay consultants $250 an hour to tell them what they already had. Meanwhile, I was settling into Morrison Steel Works. Wade's operation was smaller but smarter. Family-owned, 3 generations of building quality products without the corporate nonsense. When I explained what I could bring to their operation, Wade didn't ask for data projections or efficiency metrics. "Show me," he said. I spent 2 weeks analyzing their production flow, identified bottlenecks they'd been working around for years, proposed modifications to their heat treating program, suggested supplier consolidation that could cut material costs 15%. Wade gave me complete authority. "You've been doing this longer than my nephew's been alive," he said. "Make it work." And it did work. Within a month, we'd improved their furnace efficiency 14%, cut downtime by 30%, streamlined their supply chain so materials came when needed, not when convenient for suppliers. The best part? Wade offered equity, not just a job, but ownership stake in improvements I created. After 24 years of making other people's operations profitable, someone finally wanted to share the upside. Back at my old mill, things kept deteriorating. The consultants finished their analysis and recommended implementing optimized lean steel production protocols. Basically, they reverse-engineered my old systems, gave them fancy names, and charged $95,000 for the privilege, but implementation was a disaster. The consultants understood theory, not application. They saw the procedures but missed the context. Equipment that needed specific handling got generic treatment. Suppliers that required personal relationships got form letters. Reed's updates got more frequent. 4th furnace problem this month. Glenn's looking stressed. Sierra's blaming legacy equipment and inherited inefficiencies. That's what they were calling 24 years of keeping that place running profitably. The breaking point came during their 3rd month of consultant-driven improvements. Furnace 1 went down completely. Not routine maintenance, but catastrophic refractory failure that should have been prevented by proper monitoring protocols. The kind I'd developed specifically to catch early warning signs. But Sierra's team was following consultant recommendations, not real-world experience. They missed the temperature spikes, ignored the pressure variations, and pushed the equipment past safe operating parameters because the data said it was within acceptable ranges. 18-hour shutdown, emergency replacement materials, overtime crews working through the weekend, customer delivery delays that triggered penalty clauses. The kind of cascading failure that happens when you replace institutional knowledge with theoretical frameworks. Reed texted me a photo from the mill floor. Sierra's in Glenn's office getting screamed at. Word is the board wants answers. I didn't feel satisfaction looking at that picture, just disappointment. 24 years of building reliable systems destroyed because someone confused credentials with capability. At Morrison Steel Works, we were hitting our stride. The efficiency improvements I'd implemented were generating serious profits. Wade was talking expansion. We'd landed 3 major contracts by underbidding competitors who couldn't match our cost structure. "Roy," Wade said one afternoon, "how would you feel about taking over as operations manager? Full authority, equity stake, and we're setting up profit sharing for the floor crew." Operations manager, the same job I'd been denied at my old mill, but with real authority and shared ownership at a place that valued results over politics. Helen was thrilled when I told her that night. The salary increase was significant, but the equity stake was life-changing. For the first time in 24 years, my expertise would build wealth for our family instead of just generating profits for someone else's bottom line. "You deserve this," she said. 24 years of them taking you for granted. Now they'll see what they lost. The irony got better. 8 months after I joined Morrison, we started competing directly with my old mill. Same customer base, similar products. But we could deliver faster and cheaper because our operation actually worked. The first contract we won was significant. Automotive parts supplier that had worked with my old mill for years. When they put the job out for bid, Morrison came in 15% lower with better delivery timelines. Reed texted me that night, "Heard you guys won the Henderson account." Glenn called an emergency management meeting. Sierra saying we need to reassess our competitive positioning. Reassess our competitive positioning. She was learning that process documentation without understanding is just expensive paperwork. More contracts followed. Our lean operation could underbid the bloated bureaucracy I'd left behind. Customers who remembered my reliability followed the work to Morrison. Suppliers who valued relationship-based business gave us priority treatment. The automotive supplier who'd switched to us called Wade directly. "Your operations manager, Roy, used to work at our previous vendor. We followed him here because he actually delivers what he promises. Rare these days." Word spreads fast in steel. Customers talk to other customers. Suppliers compare notes. When you've built trust over decades, people remember. And when that trust walks out the door of one company, it doesn't disappear. It just relocates. Within 10 months, my old mill was in serious trouble. Equipment failures were constant because they'd abandoned the maintenance protocols that actually worked in favor of consultant recompetent optimization. Production delays were affecting customer relationships. They'd burned through 4 different consulting firms trying to solve problems I could have prevented with a single phone call. The final straw came when their biggest customer, Thompson Industries, terminated their contract early. Quality issues, delivery delays, and communication problems had eroded a relationship that took years to build. Thompson's purchasing manager called me the day after they canceled. "Roy, heard you're at Morrison now. We've got a steel fabrication need coming up. You interested in bidding?" Just like that, a $1.8 million annual contract walked out of my old mill's portfolio and into ours. Not because we poached it, but because competence has a reputation that follows you wherever you go. Then came the call I'd been expecting. Glenn's number showed up on my phone at 9:15 on a Tuesday morning. "Roy, we need to talk. Can you come in today?" I could hear the desperation under his professional tone. Production problems were becoming cost overruns. Customer complaints were turning into contract cancellations. The board was asking questions Glenn couldn't answer. "I've got 45 minutes at 3 p.m., I told him. When I walked into his office that afternoon, Glenn looked like he'd aged 10 years in 10 months. Sierra was there too. Laptop open, looking defensive. "We're experiencing some operational challenges," Glenn began. "Transition issues. We were hoping you might consult on some technical matters." Technical matters. They wanted to hire me back as a contractor to fix the problems created by replacing me. "What kind of technical matters?" I asked. Sierra jumped in. "We're experiencing some equipment reliability issues and supplier relationship complications. Your institutional knowledge could help us optimize our troubleshooting protocols." Institutional knowledge, supplier relationship complications. She was describing the collapse of everything I'd built, using MBA language to avoid saying they'd made a mistake. "You want me to fix the problems you created by getting rid of me?" I said. Glenn shifted uncomfortably. "It's not that simple, Roy. We value your expertise. We're prepared to offer competitive consulting rates." What rates? A $175 an hour, short-term basis. I almost laughed. They were willing to pay me $175 an hour to rebuild systems I'd maintained for years at my regular salary. And when I finished, Sierra would get the credit for turning around operational challenges. "I appreciate the offer," I said, "but I'm not available." Glenn's face went pale. "Roy, be reasonable. We can work something out." "I'm being reasonable," I said. "You decided you didn't need my expertise. Turns out you were wrong. That's not my problem anymore." I left that meeting knowing they were in real trouble. Equipment failures were increasing. Costs were climbing. Customer satisfaction was dropping. And their solution was to throw consulting dollars at problems that required experience. 5 weeks later, Reed texted me with news that brought everything full circle. Sierra got fired today. Board meeting this morning. Glenn's announcing early retirement next month. The house of cards had finally collapsed. Not because I pushed it, but because I walked away with the foundation and took it somewhere that appreciated its value. At Morrison Steel Works, we were preparing for our biggest expansion yet. The success we'd achieved in the first year had attracted attention from a major defense contractor. They wanted to discuss a long-term partnership that would significantly increase our production capacity. Wade called me into his office the morning before the meeting. "Roy, this is your show. You built what they want to buy. I want you to lead the negotiation." The defense contractor meeting went better than expected. They'd researched our efficiency improvements, talked to our customers. What impressed them most wasn't our equipment or facilities, but our operational consistency. "Your reliability metrics are exceptional," their lead negotiator said. 14 months of on-time delivery, 0 quality complaints, industry-leading cost structure. "How do you maintain that level of performance experience?" I told him. "We don't chase theories, we solve problems." They offered a 4-year partnership worth $3.2 million annually, guaranteed volume, premium pricing, and performance bonuses for meeting delivery targets. The kind of deal that transforms a family business into a regional leader. That night, Helen and I celebrated at the restaurant where we had our anniversary dinner every year. The equity stake I'd earned at Morrison was now worth serious money. Danny's remaining college costs were covered. Our mortgage would be paid off within 3 years. Financial security I'd never imagined was suddenly within reach. "You know what the best part is?" Helen said. "It's not the money. It's seeing you respected for what you do instead of taken for granted." She was right. For 24 years, I'd been treated like a necessary expense instead of a valuable asset. Now my expertise was generating wealth instead of just preventing problems. 3 months later, I got a call that brought everything full circle. The private equity firm that had bought my old mill after its bankruptcy wanted to meet. They'd heard about my track record at Morrison and were interested in hiring me to turn around their struggling acquisition. "We understand you built the original systems," their representative said. "The facility has potential, but it needs experienced leadership. We're prepared to offer significant compensation for your expertise." They wanted to pay me $125,000 base salary plus performance bonuses to rebuild what I'd already built once. The irony was perfect. They destroyed my life's work, then offered to pay me premium rates to recreate it. "I'm not interested," I told them. That facility had its chance with my systems. They chose differently. "Mr. Patterson, be practical. This could be very lucrative for you." "It's not about money," I said. "It's about respect." That place never valued what I brought to it. I'm not interested in going back to fix their mistakes. Steel Industry Weekly ran a feature story 3 weeks later. "Morrison Steel Works, Experience Trumps Theory in Competitive Manufacturing." The article detailed our success using proven steel production principles and veteran leadership. My phone rang within hours of publication. Industry contacts, former colleagues, even competitors wanting to know how we'd achieved such dramatic improvements. But the call that meant the most came from my old mentor who'd taught me the business 25 years ago. He'd seen the article and wanted to congratulate me. "Roy, I've been watching your career for 2 decades," he said. "What you've built at Morrison is what steel used to be about. Competence, reliability, and respect for the craft. You should be proud." The manufacturing community started taking notice. Trade associations began asking me to speak at conferences about practical manufacturing management. Universities wanted me to guest lecture on the value of experience-based decision-making. Recognition I'd never sought was finally coming. Not because I'd played political games, but because I'd focused on building something that worked. Today, I'm sitting in my office at Morrison Steel Works, reviewing expansion plans for our new defense division. On my desk is a framed photo of our original furnace and a copy of the Steel Industry Weekly cover story. Wade stopped by this morning with profit-sharing calculations for the year. Our 32 employees are getting bonuses averaging $1,800 each. Not a fortune, but real money that makes a difference to working families. "Roy, this operation's performing 35% above projections," Wade said. "The partnership's working exactly like we hoped. Our people are telling me this is the best place they've ever worked." That's what happens when you value experience over credentials, relationships over reorganizations, and results over theories. When you remember that steel is about making things work, not making presentations look impressive. Danny came by the plant yesterday after his metallurgy class at Penn State. He's decided to study materials engineering, wants to understand the science behind what we do here. Watching him examine the grain structure in a steel sample reminded me of myself 25 years ago, trying to figure out why some batches turned out perfect and others didn't. The difference is he'll have both the theoretical knowledge and the practical foundation. Best of both worlds. "You know, Dad," he said while we walked the floor, "I used to think what you did was just operating machinery. But seeing this place, understanding the chemistry and physics involved, it's like conducting an orchestra. Every variable has to be in harmony. I smiled at that. It took me years to realize that steelwork isn't just about following procedures. It's about listening to what the metal is telling you and responding accordingly. My old mill is now a shopping center. Best Buy anchors one end, chain restaurants fill the middle. The furnace floor where I spent 24 years learning my trade is now a food court where people eat lunch and check their phones. I drove by there last month when I had a meeting nearby. Strange feeling seeing that transformation. Not anger anymore. Just a kind of quiet satisfaction that what I built here at Morrison has outlasted what they tore down there. Reed Johnson followed me to Morrison about 6 months ago. He'd stayed at the old place as long as he could, hoping things would turn around. But watching consultants tell him how to do the job he'd been doing for 15 years finally wore him down. Now he's our floor supervisor with equity participation. Yesterday he told me something that stuck with me. You know what I learned from all this, he said? Loyalty to a company that doesn't value you is just self-punishment. But loyalty to good work, to the people you work with, to doing things right, that's different. That follows you wherever you go. He's right. The relationships I'd built over 24 years didn't disappear when I left. They just relocated. Clint Brooks from Brooks Industrial became our primary supplier within 3 months of my arrival. 2 other vendors I'd worked with for years followed the business here. Even some of our customers admitted they'd been hoping I'd end up somewhere they could find me again. Helen's cancer has been in remission for 18 months now. The stress of those early treatment days, worrying about insurance coverage and medical bills while dealing with the job situation feels like another lifetime. The equity stake at Morrison has given us financial security we never had before. More importantly, it's given us peace of mind. When the next medical crisis comes, and there always seems to be another one in life, we'll be ready. Sierra's working at a consulting firm in Ohio now, according to her LinkedIn profile. She lists her experience as leading operational transformation initiatives in challenging manufacturing environments. I suppose that's one way to describe destroying 24 years of proven systems and getting fired for incompetence. The consulting world seems like a good fit for her. Lots of theory, limited accountability for results. Glenn took early retirement and moved to Florida. I heard he's playing golf and not missing the steel business at all. Can't blame him. The pressure of trying to explain to a board of directors why your operation is falling apart while your former employee is succeeding across town couldn't have been pleasant. Sometimes the best thing you can do is admit defeat and walk away. Wade and I have been discussing succession planning. He's 67 and thinking about stepping back from day-to-day operations. His nephew isn't interested in the business, wants to be a software engineer instead. That's fine. Not everyone's cut out for manufacturing. But it means there's an opportunity for someone who understands both the technical side and the business side to eventually take over. The conversation hasn't gotten specific yet, but the implications are clear. After 25 years of making other people wealthy with my expertise, I might finally have the chance to build something I can truly call my own. Patterson Steel Works has a nice ring to it. Danny would have something to inherit if he wants it, or something to sell if he chooses a different path. Last week, a delegation from the local community college visited our plant. They're developing a new manufacturing technology program and wanted to see how a modern steel operation works. I spent 2 hours with their instructors explaining how we balance efficiency with quality, how we maintain safety standards, how we build relationships with suppliers and customers. One of the instructors asked me what advice I'd give to students entering manufacturing. I told them what my mentor told me 25 years ago. Learn everything you can, but remember that knowledge without experience is just information. Experience without curiosity is just repetition. The best manufacturers combine both, staying curious about new methods while respecting what's been proven to work. This morning, the furnace temperature is running steady at 208.50 degrees. Perfect operating range. The pressure readings are all within parameters. The cooling systems are humming their familiar tune. In an hour, I'll walk the floor, check the gauges, talk to the operators, solve whatever problems have come up overnight. It's good work. Honest work. Work that builds things people need, provides jobs for good people, creates value that lasts. Work I can put my name on with pride. And sometimes, if you're patient and persistent, the respect comes back to you, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it, one reliable heat at a time. Because in the end, respect isn't given to titles or degrees. It's earned through results, and it follows you wherever your competence leads.